Early September 2025 marked a turning point in the history of hydrometeorological disaster management in Thailand. Two iconic cities, Pattaya and Bangkok, were struck by massive flooding that not only paralyzed daily activities, but also tested the resilience of infrastructure, community solidarity, and government response. Relentless heavy rain, rising tides, and the release of water from upstream rivers combined to create a symphony of disaster that shook the lives of millions. In Pattaya, extreme rains pounded the coastal resort city since the evening of September 7th. In a short time, major roads such as Soi Khao Talo, Soi Khao Noi, and the rail line leading to Wat Tham Temple turned into impromptu rivers. Water levels reached between 10 and 50 centimeters, enough to paralyze traffic and damage vehicles. Motorcycles and small cars became stuck in the floodwaters, while some motorists who dared to wade through the waters were forced to face the reality of their vehicle's engines stalling. Residents accustomed to annual flooding began to lose patience. An East Pattaya resident lamented, "Every year we're told there will be drainage improvements, but look at this, we're still stuck." The Thai Meteorological Agency confirmed that this extreme rainfall was triggered by an active low-pressure system in the Gulf of Thailand. Furthermore, Tropical Storm Peipah, which formed in the Pacific Ocean, also increased atmospheric humidity, although it did not directly impact Thailand. From September 7th to 10th, the Pattaya area is predicted to experience strong winds and high seas, with temperatures ranging from 23 to 35 degrees Celsius. The social and economic impacts of this flooding are significant. Tourism has been disrupted as tourists have difficulty reaching hotels and entertainment venues. Street vendors have lost their daily income, schools and offices have been forced to close early, and the city's drainage infrastructure has been deemed inadequate to cope with the extreme rainfall. Pattaya, once a vibrant city, has become a city frozen in water. Meanwhile, Bangkok faces a more systemic threat. The Thai capital is grappling not only with local rainfall but also with runoff from upstream areas. In late August, the Chao Phraya Dam in the Chai Nat region increased its water discharge to 1,498 cubic meters per second. This release was triggered by heavy rains and runoff from northern areas such as Chiang Mai and Nakhon Sawan. As a result, 11 provinces in the Chao Phraya Valley, including Bangkok, were issued early warnings. Areas outside the flood embankments, such as Nonthaburi, Pathum Thani, and Samut Prakan, were at high risk of inundation. Bangkok, built on a river delta, has a long history of tidal flooding and river overflows. Massive urbanization, land subsidence, and a fragmented drainage system exacerbated the situation. On September 8th, several roads in Bang, Konthayan, and Thonburi districts began to flood. Residents used small boats to cross the roads, and schools in flood-prone areas began switching to online learning. The Thai government, through the Royal Irrigation Department, implemented gradual releases to prevent sudden flooding. The Bangkok city government activated flood alert posts in 50 districts, and residents were advised to avoid river and canal areas and monitor information from the Thai meteorology. Despite the swift response, many residents felt these measures were reactive rather than preventative. The floods that hit Pattaya and Bangkok are not just natural disasters, but rather a reflection of the challenges of urban governance and climate adaptation. The Thai government has promised to accelerate the construction of embankments, pumping systems, and diversion canals. However, residents are demanding more than just promises. They want transparency, participation, and long-term, sustainable solutions. The full moon on September 7th and perigee, the moon's closest approach to Earth, on September 10th contributed to the amplification of maximum sea tides. The Thai Meteorological Agencies noted that this combination increased tidal flooding along the coasts, including Pattaya and Bangkok. In this context, flooding is not just about rainfall, but also about astronomical dynamics that influence the water cycle. Amidst the inundation, portraits of residents' lives testify to resilience and solidarity. A mother is seen carrying her child through floodwaters on Soi Khao, Pattaya, with a bitter smile. In Bangkok, elementary school students walk with their shoes off, holding books above their heads to protect themselves from getting wet. Vendors at the San Pa Khoi night market in Chiang Mai struggle to save their goods from the overflowing Ping River. This flood teaches us that even modern cities are not immune to nature's wrath. Behind the floodwaters, there are stories of solidarity, resilience, and hope. As the waters recede, the big question remains: will we learn from each flood, or allow it to become a never-ending cycle? Flooding in Bangkok is nothing new, but rather a worsening crisis each year, caused by natural factors and a lack of comprehensive urban development planning. Bangkok is originally located in a lowland area, with an average elevation of about 1 meter below sea level, and continues to experience land subsidence of 1 centimeter per year. Meanwhile, sea levels are rising 3 to 5 millimeters per year due to global warming and the melting of the polar ice caps. If no serious action is taken, by 2030, Bangkok could face seawater overflowing its rivers and canals, flooding almost the entire region. Besides the threat of high waves, increased rainfall is another key factor. Research shows that if global temperatures rise by 1 degree Celsius, rainfall will increase by 7%. Combined with the southwest monsoon bringing water from the Indian Ocean into Thailand, Bangkok experiences heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters on some days, even though the city's drainage system can only handle 60 millimeters per hour. When pipes and canals cannot accommodate the water in time, flooding occurs, waiting to be drained. This is especially true during high tides, when draining water into the Gulf of Thailand is nearly impossible. Furthermore, urban development has drastically reduced water retention areas, or monkey cheeks, for more than 92,000 rai in eastern Bangkok, such as Klong Samwa, Nong Chak, Min Buri, and Lat Krabang. Today, only 34,000 rai remain. More than 58,000 rai have been filled in to build new housing and communities. Although many major roads have been built as flood barriers, this actually limits the natural drainage system. Critical areas like Suvarnabhumi Airport have been built on existing monkey cheeks, reducing the city's ability to protect itself from flooding. Faced with such a serious problem, the solution requires serious rethinking. Water management must consider the entire Chao Phraya Basin system, rather than relying solely on individual provinces to address the issue. Collaboration under the National Water Resources Office and the National Water Resources Committee is needed, along with consideration of new approaches, such as the construction of a water highway to channel water from Pathum Thani, Bangkok, and Samut Prakan directly to the Gulf of Thailand. Alternatively, the Dutch Delta Works concept, involving the construction of dams, embankments, floodgates, and a seawater pumping system, is also being considered to mitigate the risk of tidal surges. However, if the situation worsens beyond control, extreme measures such as relocating the capital city could be considered, as in Indonesia, which announced the relocation of its capital from Jakarta to the Indonesian archipelago on the island of Borneo to avoid irreversible flooding and landslides.